Okay, welcome back. So I thought I'd do another quick update. So I'm building out the categories and I'm just on geology and I decided to try out Cuppa instead of using Koala. So it's to give you a little test of basically to see how does Cuppa compare, because I know it's a little bit cheaper. So we're going to compare the two. Well, we're going to do content for both and then see what's good and what needs improving basically. So we're going to compare Cuppa and Koala. So I'm just going to basically do this category out with Cuppa, see like pros and cons, and see if it's worth using that to basically build out your site instead of using Koala. So I did a little test. I did this article already. So like I've already looked through this, and what I really like about Cuppa is the intro is actually short and to the point. The intro is 10 times better, and the intro for most articles is like 90% of the work. Like the intro you really need to fix. So the intro's good. The content itself is pretty similar to Koala, I'd say. Like it bolds the main keywords. This is probably a little bit better, to be honest with you. In general, just because it has like the little table here when it didn't really need to, because there's not really too much info to have a table. This is pretty good. It didn't bold this, which it should bold that, which is a bit of a not the best. But other than that, the content's bang on. The only thing I don't really like about the Cuppa articles is the images. Like the image prompts a lot better for in Koala. Like what are these lines on the side, and it's just not like the same quality as some of the other images it's generated in Koala. But Cuppa does a really good job for the content. And the reason why I changed over to Cuppa is because I was doing research for the geology, and what I noticed, I pulled in loads of 3 different sitemaps um, from a few different niche sites to basically speed it up, and there's a lot of programmatic keywords. So like how much is a certain rock or gem worth, and there's a few other ones like how much. Let me get rid of this filter. So all I did was put them all into this and then just filtered. So there is how much is it worth. There's different rocks in different states, which is another programmatic keyword. And fossils in like location, how much is X worth. And there's quite a few different gem mining in different places. So there's like loads of different programmatic keywords. And what Cuppa does really well is programmatic articles. So I switched over to that and I thought I'd just show you my process. So I filtered for how much, and then I chucked in a bit of code to basically go after the .com, give me this word, get rid of the dashes, and put in a space where the dash is and get rid of the line. Then it did this, and then I was going to do a bit of code to basically get this middle word out, but they structured it different in like a few different ones, so the code wasn't really working. So I just put all this into ChatGPT and basically asked it to give me the unique word out of it all. So I got the big list, and this was from a different site, and it even gave me a few extra ones because a few of these were repeated. So it basically helps you find the duplicates. So I copied all these. I went back into my Cuppa account, created. So I didn't do the project. I did the create article and then bulk generation. But I don't know if I can show you my project doing it this way. Oh, screw it. I'll show you what happened. So you basically do that, programmatic keywords, and then you can see how much is rock worth. And then I just pasted in all these values. And then it gives you loads of programmatic. And then you can even programmatic the headings and everything like that. I used like auto-generate and then removed a few and then added a few in. So it's perfect for doing like these 63 articles, and I'll do it for a few others as well. And what I'll do now is just quickly show you the content. I'm going to probably do a proper comparison between Cuppa and Koala if you want to see that. There is definitely pros and cons with both of them. Koala is definitely better for affiliate content because you can actually add in the affiliate links, so it makes it a lot easier for doing Amazon reviews and Amazon bulk reviews. It's really good for that. Cuppa doesn't have that feature, but on like an information to information level, they're pretty similar. Cuppa obviously works out cheaper to do the articles, and you can also do these programmatic keywords, which is really, really good. So let's just check this. So it gives you the headings, and what this does as well, I've noticed it doesn't actually share it directly to WordPress, so you have to go on the project and then upload it all at the end. which isn't too of a major thing, but it's just part of it. So the image has sorted itself out now, so that's a pretty good image. But on the other one, obviously, it didn't. The intro's loads better, like short and sweet, to the point, it's perfect. And then the content's like pretty banging, to be fair. It's good content. It keeps doing these vintage images, I've noticed, which I'm not asking it to do the vintage images, so I'm not too sure why it's doing it. But it is what it is. So the images probably needs to be worked on, but the content itself is great. Like tables, we've got all this, it's working it all out. And yeah, it's pretty good. So there was one thing which I did notice if you are going to run Cuppa with this bulk generation. When I actually started it up and going to like generate keywords, it wouldn't let me edit the. Let me. There we go. Here we go. So it wouldn't let me edit this because I had 63. It wouldn't let me do this in bulk. So like, there's no bulk option here, and there's no bulk for like adding the images and doing all that sort of stuff, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, really, especially like when you're doing bulk content. And then you can do it if you press apply presets, but because I was brand new to the platform and not done it before, I didn't have any presets. So that was a bit of a nightmare. So luckily you can save it as a draft and then go onto my save presets and chuck it in there. And then another thing I noticed, the WP connections in here, so it connects and it does everything perfect, but it's not on like the integrations tab when you're actually doing it. So really that should be there, because I had no idea how to connect WordPress. There was no like prompts and no settings with it. But other than that, like, it's really good. I highly recommend it. Like, the content's good. So I'm gonna start throwing these up when the batch is done, and then doing some bulk programmatic keywords to basically fill out my content strategy. And then in the next few days, we probably should have around 500 articles in 2 or 3 more days, and then I'll make sure we've pretty much got everything optimized and ready to go. And then I'm going to publish it, or I'm actually going to try and go through the content in the next video. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go through the content now, and I'm going to show you my ChatGPT basically intro optimizer. So let me go through to, we'll find the best keywords first, shall we? So this is a best range gauge, and as you can see, like, this intro is like long as hell, and then we get all the content here. Like, these images obviously need changing as well. That's going to be part of the editing content process. But all I do to make like this content a little bit better is go through, copy this info, and then I'll just load up ChatGPT. Cool, so go to ChatGPT, go to my SEO intros. So I'll leave a link for you to use this in the description. So if you do want to give it a go, I'll put it down there for you guys for watching along. And I've accidentally removed that. Let's paste it in again. Cool, and then this should automatically give me a basically better intro. It's a little bit tricky with review sort of keywords, but here we go. So this is a little bit better and a little bit cleaner than basically a wall of text. So we'll just edit this. And then sometimes you still have to add in the spaces. So we got the main keyword in here, best rain gauge. So this is what people are looking for. So if you ever follow Jamie IF, he talks about his spear framework, which is very similar to kind of what I do. It makes perfect sense to, like, for me personally, I think you need the keyword at the start. It helps search engines tell what it is, and it tells the users that they're actually in the right place. This is what they're looking for. So you want to start with what they're looking for, not like just a bunch of text. So I usually do that, and then like some of this I I could put in the article, but I'm just going to remove it for the ease of doing this. And that's pretty much how I go through the intros and update it. So much like quicker and easier. Just use ChatGPT and go through and paste it in like that. Let's have a look at the post. See, so it's a lot more cleaner, better, and hopefully it gets people getting engaged to go down. The next thing which I always do for editing review posts is do a list. So top engage for accurate weather tracking, so that's okay. Well, I'd maybe shorten this, or if not remove it. But what you want to do is add a list. We want to paste this list in here. So we want every single product. I don't like images which are massive either, so let's just change this to 200. And then maybe have to check that. It's a bit of a pain in WordPress when you do this. So you could, for me, you can use plugins like Lasso and something like that, and I probably will do a plugin for the pros and cons and for the box. But what I'm gonna do, just for the sake of doing this video, until I figure out basically the plan of attack, is get this. And then we want to chuck this into the column. Same with the text into this column. And then you could maybe even add another column and do pros and cons there, but I like using sort of a plugin to basically neaten it up and give it a bit of colour. I think Cadence actually has... I think Cadence actually has a pros and cons. Okay, so they have a progress bar. I don't think they have the pros and cons. Maybe I was thinking of something else. Oh, they have an icon list. So this might have been what I was thinking about. So this would actually work quite well. Why is that not pasted? And then we'll just go to style, icon color, we want it green. And then you can pretty much save like these sort of styles and just copy. Okay, so it's not actually icon list. There we go. Text styling, I think we'll probably leave everything like that. We want to change the icon list to now negative. So we got a tick, just type cross. We could maybe use something like this. That'll do, and then color we'll just do. Oops. With the pros and cons as well, when I actually do these, I don't like adding I don't like having it even, so I like having 3 pros and then 2 cons. So it's good to maybe just look in the list and kind of see what works best and what kind of wants removing. No, delete. So that's a little bit neater. I'd probably do the exact same thing and just chuck these into columns as well. Like, this takes a little bit of work, which I'm not a big fan of. I want to do things quickly. But as soon as you kind of get one set up and you can basically just copy and paste and then just input the text, it makes it, oops, is that the right one? Yeah. Makes it a lot quicker. And what's this? So this is H3, so you could put these as a H4 if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it as pros and cons. And then usually with this I don't like too much text as well. And it's probably, well, it is a good idea to have a button, so you can add a button in here. And the good thing about Koala is it already includes your affiliate link, which is nice. But back to doing this. So I'd actually go through when I'm properly doing this and actually segment these to have like this is like the top pick and like this would be best for value, like do the pricing of them all and work out which is cheaper, maybe do a chart of the pricing for each one. And with, if it's on Amazon, you're not allowed to actually do the price, but if you put the price into ChatGPT for each one and then ask it to do a money sign relevant to the pricing to basically work out like is this one money or this like free money, so you can work out like a gauge. That's a really good like hack with ChatGPT to do it that way. But you always want to include a list underneath your heading for the products, because this is what gets you the featured snippet for best reviews. And that's pretty much how I would update it. So obviously you want to spend a bit more time going through and updating everything. So it looks something like this. And maybe add a button here, change this image so it's centered so it's a bit closer. But it's a lot better than like a huge image and just like walls of text. You basically, formatting's like a key thing with basically helping you to rank, because it leads to higher conversions, people on your page for longer, which people click it and people stop clicking off your page. Basically all around it makes it a lot better. So better user experience and better rankings. And that's pretty much how I'd edit. So let me go through and find a informational post, because the informational posts are a little bit different. So let's go through. I would do the exact same thing. So I'd go through, copy all this content, go to ChatGPT, and then I got an SEO featured snippet. So I'll just paste this in here. And then what I want to do is paste the title in as well. And then chuck that in there. And then what this will do is basically give me the featured snippet summary and a word count of it, because you want it under basically 50 words. So this would be the featured snippet. I'd go through and edit this. So I'd maybe even change for this one, I'd probably change the key takeaways. I do like having like some sort of box and this sort of information. It is nice, like the summary, but it would probably be better just to have so something like this is probably a little bit better. What I would do is chuck in some custom CSS and make sure there's spacing around the box though, because we do want some spacing. I think we're appearance. Yeah, I don't think you can add the spacing normally, so you'll have to add a bit of custom CSS. But that's pretty much what I do for info articles. Info are a lot easier to update and did it instead. Info articles is a lot easier to update and optimize. So that would be the sort of look for this. And then what else is there to sort the articles? So internal linking. With internal linking, I'd probably use Link Whisperer, and then I'll probably do a video on that. Julian Goldie's got a really good video on it. It's worth checking out. So it's basically the same method as that. I'd automatically link, like if anything's talking about best galaxies or something around that, that would link to this article, and I'd set up all the auto linking and see if there's anything else. If you do it like leave it to do its own devices, it keeps linking to basically the same articles over and over again, so you kind of want to set up the auto linking feature, and that's pretty much it. So that's how I'd optimize the content. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put an article on my website. So time this video is live, there'll be an article on my website, and I'll give you both this feature snippet and my SEO intro custom ChatGPT, so they're going to be free to use for you. So that's pretty much how I use them, and that was Cuppa for doing the programmatic keywords. Hope that helped, got a bit of value out of it, and I'll catch you in the next video.